I'm Caitlin Dano. Welcome to this new corner of the internet where I share my sewing journey with you. I primarily learned from watching YouTube videos and really enjoy watching other people sew and make things on YouTube, so I thought I would share myself as well. I've only been sewing for about a year, so I'm definitely not professional. I'm still very much a beginner. I have quite a few makes under my belt now just because I've gotten super into it, but yeah, definitely still learning and making lots of mistakes. But yeah, anyway, today I'm going to be making the Lydia Naomi Confetti Frock pattern. I have made a couple of her patterns before and I just really like everything about them, basically. They always fit me really well. The videos are super helpful and very visual, so it's really nice to have that. Her patterns come with photo instructions too, just super easy to follow for a beginner. So yeah, one of the first ones I made of hers was the Dream Frock, which is the milkmaid dress pattern. Absolutely love that. Took that on vacation with me last year and still wear it all the time. And yeah, excited to give this one a go. I got some very pretty soft brown fabric. There's a little bit of like a shimmer in the sunlight. I don't know, really like it, so I'm excited to make a dress out of it. Hoping to make something that's kind of a casual, everyday, multi-purpose dress. I plan on making a few alterations to the pattern, so it's gonna be a little bit of a learn as I go process, but I'm excited about how I hope it's going to turn out. So yeah, let's get started. With the like raw edges facing inwards. No idea how I didn't notice that. I got like quite a few steps into the process before noticing that I did that. So at some point I did have to remove one of the straps from the very finished product. I mean, not completely finished, but the bodice was mostly done. And yeah, I had to take that out, flip it around, and then re-sew it so it was all sandwiched in. These hand movements I'm sure are not helping, but yeah, so that would be the first mistake.
Front and the facing, and you're going to stitch at 3/8. That's just inside the half-inch seam allowance. Zip up the zipper and move.
Another thing that happened while I was sewing this was that the instructions are made for someone who has a serger. I don't have a serger. I think a lot of beginners don't have a serger. It's obviously still very possible to do this without a serger. It's harder to do well. As I've made more garments, I've gotten a little pickier about how I want the insides to look. I really want them to look professional and neat and not have any loose edges anywhere. So for example, on the facing, on the front and back, I did basically a little hem and I used pinking shears to make this, pinking shears so that I could have the jagged edge that just keeps it from fraying as much, and then I basically just did a hem. So that's how I did that on the facing. And then basically the sleeves, once I cut it out, I went ahead and used pinking shears for all of that because I knew they would be loose in here in the armhole. So I used the pinking shears, and then I also sewed just like a stay stitch along the edge before I did the gathering stitch, just to give it some extra support. I just really don't want this to fray. I still am deciding. I might, I've done this before on a friend's dress that I made for her, where I did a lining material and basically enclosed this so that it feels nicer on the inside. I should do that for this also. We'll see how lazy I'm feeling. The sleeves feel okay right now. The place where I know I need to add something is around the waistline. This feels really bulky and rough because I did a lot of gathers. I used an entire yard of fabric for the front panel and the back panel of the skirt. Because this is such a drapey, flowy fabric, I just really wanted it to still have a bit of a shape to it, not like a sad couple gathers here and there. So anyway, this is a lot of bulk here, so I think I'm going to try my best to enclose this. So that's another finishing touch that I still need to do. See how that goes. Finishing touches are the worst because you just want to wear it at this point, but you know that you'll regret it if you don't do these small things. The more I have been sewing, the more I have come to know this. The other thing you can do to finish off loose edges, or just to sew this garment without a serger, is to do French seams. That term I kept hearing everywhere and it was scaring me because I just assumed it would be hard because it sounds fancy. And it really isn't that bad. It is, you know, 2 hems basically, or 2 stitches that you're having to do instead of just 1. But instead of just putting it good sides together and then flipping it out and having those loose edges on the inside, you're going to want to do bad sides together, sew it once, trim it as close to that seam as possible, and then flip it around, and then you just enclose that whole thing, and then that will look like, that will end up looking like this. So this is the inside of my bodice. And if I hadn't done this, and if I didn't have a serger, this would all just be loose, ragged edges, or, you know, the pinking shears, which just isn't very comfortable. So this is so much softer and so much nicer. So definitely recommend this if you don't have a serger as well. Okay, we are in the final stretches here. So here's where I stand. It is mostly done. In general, you put it on and it looks like a dress. I had to make sure that it was going to fit. It is a very close fit. I did a size 4. Right now, as it stands, the top half is really totally done, other than those like finishing touches that I talked about wanting to do. Now I'm also wanting to add pockets. That is another alteration that I'm making, because if you have a skirt with side seams, there's no reason for you not to have pockets. Like, there are seams right here. I have to put a pocket in it, so I'm going to. I also just spent a lot of time trying to find a pocket pattern, which I know I have because I have sewn pockets in other things, and for the life of me I could not find it. I blame my cat. She likes to try and steal little pieces of fabric, and I know it was one of those like really flimsy ones that like was from an actual pattern, not one of the ones that I like printed out and made myself. There's a lot of explanation, but anyway, I basically ended up taking one of my dresses that I've made before that I knew had pockets in it that I liked, and I just traced it out on a new piece of paper, and I'm using that. So I am going to put the pocket in here because right now the zipper I just did like to the waistline. I'm going to add the large pockets right here, and then I'll be able to finish off the zipper and the whole skirt seam. And then the only thing left is to hem the whole thing, which is always the least fun thing to do because it just takes absolutely forever. And I don't have fancy things like a hem foot or something, so I just do it by hand. I am going to do French seams on the lovely pockets that I just cut out. And then I'm going to be adding to the dress because every dress should have pockets. Okay, this is my rough estimation of how much room I should leave. I think this maybe needs to come up a little bit higher, but I would rather leave too much space and add some more than the opposite. So, there we go. It's a pocket. It's so satisfying. Should I press this before I sew it in order to make the French seam? Absolutely. Am I going to do that? No, because it's 8:51 p.m. on Sunday and I have work tomorrow and I'm trying to get this done, so no. Since I did it, I might as well show you. So this is what a French seam looks like when it was done right. So yay, it all looks good. And then here, not so much. So see how the raw edges are still sticking out? I just need to basically turn it back out and take this in a little bit more so that those are tucked in. Okay, quickly gonna go through the things I altered for this pattern really fast. Things I changed were the waistline. In the original dress, it's just a full front panel, back panel, no waistline kind of dress. Instead, I wanted there to be a waistline. I saw one other example where someone had made it into a gathered skirt at the bottom, and there are instructions for it to be that as well. So I decided to do that, but then I also wanted to do something a little different because I think I like this shape on me. I only have one of the dress that sort of does this shape, and I've always wanted more, but I feel like they're really hard to find. So anyway, I decided to do more of a V. So it comes in a V in the front and in the back, and the gathered skirt. And I may have already mentioned this, but I did lots of gathers. I really wanted this to be a very voluptuous skirt with a very like thin drapey fabric. So changed the waistline. I also made it full length instead of mini or midi length, which are, I think those are the main options that are given for the full length dress. She has an option, and it's to add like a tiered skirt basically at the bottom of it. So that's a little different. And yeah, I think those are really the only differences that I made, but it does, I think, make it look more unique and just gave my own spin to it a little bit. And I am really loving how it's turning out, so yay. I am very, very close. Oh, I just want to wear it and be done. Anyway, okay. Doing the last, less fun bits of sewing. Good morning. It is now the next day. I was sewing until late last night, which is really always a bad idea. Always stop sewing once you're tired. This is my advice to you. I have given myself this advice many times, and I refuse to take this advice. Bad idea all the way around. So I had sewn one of the pockets in. I decided to try on the dress to make sure the pocket was in a good spot before I did the other one. And I could not get the zipper up over the waistline. I think I mentioned in here earlier that I had like quite a bit of bulk around the waistline. I have tried it on before and zipped it up and everything was fine, but it was a little hard to get over the waist. So instead of taking the dress back off and trimming said bulk and fixing the problem, I decided to force the zipper up and broke the zipper. And that was great. That was a really nice way to end the night last night. So I didn't check back in. And now I am at Joann's before work, waiting for it to open currently. I'm gonna run in there and hopefully get a new zipper. I believe the one I bought was the last brown zipper when I bought it here last time. Please let us hope that they have restocked since then, or that there is one hiding somewhere, because I really, really don't want to wait days and days to finish this dress. I want to wear it immediately. I want to wear it every day this week sometime. Oh gosh. So anyway, day 3 of this project. And yeah, don't sew when you're tired. Okay, wish me luck.
Are you being super helpful? Are you being so helpful, Chloe? Are you super dirty and laying on my new dress?
Okay, it's another day. After the zipper debacle, took a little day to rest. And then I'm almost done now. I've been kind of chipping away early in the morning and like in odd hours, so I haven't filmed any of the other things. But new zipper is in, everything fits, pockets are in, side seams are done. I am currently sewing the hem, and that is the last thing that we have. So doing a very lazy girl hem where I'm just rolling it as I go, not pinning anything, haven't ironed anything. Yeah, I'm hoping to maybe do this quick enough where I can take a picture and hopefully before I lose the light, so.
Well, it was a magical. I don't know what is. This is the perfect dress.